Hey guys, it's James Witham from the Down and Nerdy podcast. I wanted to cover something that I didn't get a chance to talk about on this week's podcast, and it's HBO International. That's right, the shows that are from overseas on HBO are coming domestic. Actually, this past weekend, they debuted on the HBO app. If you have the HBO Now app, you can go watch those right now. A couple of them that are of interest to us here in the nerd community, I would say, is Halfworlds, first of all, is one of them, which is a show that's set in Jakarta, and it's about this kind of an Indonesian mythology where there are these godlike creatures that walk the earth. They look like humans, but they're really not, and they're called the Demet. And there's an event coming up called The Gift that's going to bring this other world into the human world. And it kind of revolves around this artist named Sarah. Now, we know something about Sarah, and I'm not really going to spoil any of this because I want you to see this for yourself, but I wanted to give a quick review of the show. There's an artist named Sarah that's involved in this, and we know there's something special about her, but we don't quite know what it is in the first couple of episodes, and it looks like they're building toward that. So, I mean, it's really, really interesting to watch her story kind of unfold because she's sort of dealing with this on her own kind of thing, and she does have a support system. She has friends, she has a boyfriend, but things just start happening in her life. And it's one of those things where she's kind of alone in this because nobody really understands her, but then we see at one point after the first couple of episodes that starts to turn the corner and that gets a little bit better for her. But to watch these Demet, it's really, really crazy. And you want to talk about a show that will give you that wow factor of, whoa, did that really just happen? This show really does that, and it grabs you in a way that not only does it have some really good art, actually, the art that Sarah does is really, really solid. So, I mean, for a comic book fan, it's one of those things where that will grab you, like, man, that's great art. And the mythology that's created, the first thing I was thinking was, man, if this was a comic that she was writing, I'd be all in on this. But the problem is that this thing that she's drawing is actually happening to her in this world. So, and then you do have police that get involved, and then you try to find out, okay, who the Demet are and who they aren't. And then there are actual gods that come into play here at some point. This show's already been out internationally for about a year or two now. So they're already 2 seasons in. So you go to the HBO app and you can catch up on the show really, really quickly. But it's really interesting. The action is good. The storyline is good. And Sarah is a character that you can really get behind and care about. And one of the great things I like about the show, too, is that they pretty much explain to you at the beginning of every episode, okay, here's what's going on. Here's who these people are. Here's the stage that we're setting. It actually spoon feeds you what's happening and tells you what the world is all about. So you don't have to guess or anything like that. Now, asking about subtitles. There are subtitles in some of this that is translated for you, but a lot of the dialogue is in English as well. So it's not like you're going to have to pay really close attention and read really fast to find out what's going on in Halfworlds. So you should be able to pick up on that pretty quickly. Definitely one that I would recommend if you're going to the HBO app and looking for something international. Halfworlds is a good one to start with. Another one that I actually started watching was called Wasteland, which was called Pustina in HBO Nordic, which is about a town that's trying to decide on a settlement with a big company that wants to come over and kind of take over the town. But then in all this turmoil, there's a young girl that goes missing. Now, again, not spoiling this for you, I won't say anything about who the girl's related to or anything like that. And you know me and names, not even going to attempt any of these names in this show because I'm not butchering the names of these characters. I'll try and describe them as best as I can if you try and watch this show. So there's the mayor of the town, and she has a family, and she's kind of estranged from her husband. The guy that plays the husband, I got to tell you, I mean, acting-wise, it's just, you don't know how to feel about him, but at the same time, just the way his character is presented, just from an actor standpoint, a fantastic performance by him. And again, I will not even attempt to butcher his name. If you want to IMDb him, I'd be more than happy to recommend that. But, and then you've got, is the town against the mayor? Are they not? Do you kind of rally around this missing girl and just let everybody come together? Is there that thing going on? But the one thing about Wasteland that I just couldn't get away from is that you feel like there's something more. And is this necessarily completely related to nerd culture? No, it's very much a mystery, but I feel like, you watch a show and you go, there's something more about this that just doesn't seem right. Something that's missing here, and I don't know if it's going to take a turn. I've only seen the first couple of episodes. I don't know if it's going to take a turn to something that can't be explained, sort of thing. So while I say this isn't necessarily directly related to nerd culture, it's hard to say at this point. So it's one of those shows that has a mystery type angle to it, but then it's also wrapped up in the drama of this town and very much a real world drama. Now, I will say visually this show is just striking. And if it doesn't make you appreciate where you live, I don't know what will. And I'm not saying that this isn't a beautiful place at all, but the way it's filmed makes it seem so desolate, so desperate, and just so third world is the best way I could possibly think to describe it. And you would think, well, okay, why wouldn't these people want their town taken over? And then you start to realize certain things as they unfold. This is their town and the pride that they take in. And I will say that this show didn't grab me as much as Halfworlds did, but at the same time, there was just something about it. It's like I wasn't completely locked in, but I couldn't turn away either. And I kept wanting to watch the next episode, and I couldn't figure out why. And maybe you could decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I kept watching, and that's the point. And there are a lot of, if you like good acting, there are a lot of great performances on this show. So acting-wise, there are a lot of great performances. The story can be a bit confusing, but it seems like at the end of every episode, that's when they get you and go, oh, well, if you're going to tell me that, I need to know what happens now. So this is definitely a need to know what happens kind of show. There's a whole bunch more shows. Go to the HBO Now app and see them for yourself. You can pretty much binge watch them. They've been released. I mean, Wasteland was actually on HBO Signature this past weekend. They just played the entire series if you got a chance to catch up with that. Leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about the show right here. Comment on this video. You can always tweet us at DownandNerdy757. Always find out everything that we've got going on, including our latest podcast at downandnerdypodcast.com.